Welcome back to How Good Was It, where we review the movies of our past to see how the hell they hold up, if they do, if they don't, and everything in between. And we are back in the middle. And this time I think we are actually in the middle, the third weekend to our Tim Burton month. Now, last week, we had the pleasure of watching... and I use that term very loosely. We did Planet of the Apes. And if you haven't heard that episode yet, please dig into the archives to listen to it because it was quite the hoot. But it did make us, or at least I should speak for myself, wonder, what the hell are we doing with this Tim Burton movie?
Was Tim Burton really good? How good was Tim Burton? I don't know.
I don't know, man. That was a little scary. So this week we are back. This is the second half to our Mars Attacks episode. And I was a little fearful. I was going into this one. But you know what? Let's go in. We'll find out by the end what we think of this movie and how it compares to what we've reviewed as far as Tim Burton's filmography so far. Let's get right into it. Let's go over some facts and figures or observations if you guys have any. And I'm sure the wizard Scott has some. I'm counting on it opening his mouth.
So this movie was a flop. I think opening weekend only made $9 million. I want to say it was made for, I know I wrote this down somewhere.
Is that
it was made, $70 million?
All those actors. Okay.
And then opening weekend only did 9 million. And then worldwide, it only did 101. I think in the US, it only did like 40 something million.
Holy mackerel.
Yeah, so it was a flop, in general. Even making 101. Mars, I think it did okay. They were kind of upset with the portrayal. They didn't think it was too accurate, but yeah, it was it was a flop. I mean, this is a weird movie, so I kind of get it. But the cast is as loaded of a cast of any movie I've ever seen. I mean, it is loaded upon loaded upon loaded. I mean, we named a lot of people in the first half of this episode, and there was even more that we didn't name. Martin Short,
wow.
Christina Applegate in a very small role in this film. Who else was in it? Glenn Close, and then we have it's just one after another, and it was Tom Jones. Well, of course we got Tom Jones, the biggest star.
Tom Jones.
This film is stacked to the gills with stars. I was like, holy shit!
So much so that Jack Nicholson was the third choice for that. So it was originally offered to Warren Beatty, and then he ended up turning it down. I want to say it was offered to Paul Newman after that, and then he decided it was too violent. So then Jack Nicholson really wanted to work with Tim Burton again. He had a great time doing Batman. So he came on and then ended up doing a dual role. The reason he did a dual role was Michael Keaton was supposed to play the casino owner and then had to back out for some reason. So Jack Nicholson took on both.
Oh, that would have been so awesome to have as a reference.
I agree, Dana. I agree. That would have been incredible to watch Michael Keaton in that role.
Sure. And I had totally forgot that was Jack Nicholson. I'm not even positive I knew that the first time I watched the movie. That was Jack Nicholson in that role. I mean, right away when he came on the screen, I knew it now. So I probably knew it in 96, but I had totally forgot that he was that character.
Yeah,
I needed to be convinced. I had no idea.
Dana and I watched this movie together, June. We watched the first hour of this movie together, and then Dana had to tap out. He was tuckered out.
School night.
School night. So.
Had to get a pacifier.
I don't know. That doesn't bode well for the review if you had to tap out. But we'll save that. We'll get into that, man. Yeah, man. I mean, Jesus Christ, Martin Short. I totally forgot about his role in this movie. What's her name? Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman as the daughter.
Yes, a very young Natalie Portman. Coming off of things. Was this before or after her role in The Professional? I believe it was that.
Oh. She looked a little bit older.
I think it's after.
After too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I totally forgot she was in there. And as they mentioned,
so much so that her next movie after this was Star Wars. So this was the first movie, the movie she did right before she did Force Awakens.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
I think she took some time off for college, but they were in between. Her next movie was Star Wars after this movie.
Okay.
I was gonna say, because I don't remember that Star Wars movie that she was in, or that trilogy, I should say.
2000 maybe.
Yeah, it was quite some time after this movie,
somewhere like that. Yeah.
Okay, but Michael J. Fox,
and this was same thing for him. So he did this movie in '96. He wasn't in another release of a movie till 2014 because his Parkinson's was setting in. There's a scene in this movie where the aliens are attacking. I think he's standing on top of he was shooting, he's a reporter, and he's shooting the coverage of it, and he's like shaking in the scene, and they made it look like he's shaking because he was scared of the aliens. No, he was shaking because he couldn't stop shaking, and they made it fit with the scene to make it kind of fit to it. So
by this time, did he reveal that he did have Parkinson's?
I don't think so. I don't think so. But it wasn't long after.
Very formal. Yeah, I feel like it was way formal.
Yeah,
I think he wrote that show Spin City. I think was the show.
I think he did Spin City still after this movie, or maybe was in the process of doing it. But then he really started to stop working altogether. Johnny Depp was up for the role that Michael J. Fox had, but then he decided he didn't want to do it.
Oh, surprise. Yeah. And this was definitely after like Edward Scissorhands.
Oh, yeah.
So they had already established some kind of working relationship, him and Tim Burton, I would assume.
Yeah.
But Glenn Close as the first lady, and Glenn Close is always fun. And, I can't get too excited. I've never had a thing, but I'm sure she's a fine actress, I guess. Sarah Jessica Parker.
Oh, yeah. We forgot her too. Yeah. And Pierce Bronson and her. Yeah, I know. This is pre-Sex in the City too, Sarah Jessica Parker.
Yes. I think she had only had a few roles before this, no? Or
and then we mentioned while we were watching it, but Sarah Jessica Parker and the dude from Sex in the City,
Willie.
Yeah, and I was like, what the hell?
Well, no, I never watched Sex in the City, so
don't worry, you didn't miss anything. But I actually thought you did. But by your response by her, I was like, oh, you were like me. You were forced to watch Sex in the City.
No, I always see like June. Her. June's always drinking Cosmos, so we just assume that he watches Sex in the City.
She stole his persona.
I'm just gonna assume that's some kind of Sex in the City
of course
reference. So
they
I'll take it.
Sure, June.
I'll take your word. I don't know.
Oh, Brandy's brother. Did we talk?
Oh yeah, Ray. No, we did not. Ray. Yeah, Ray J. Yeah, Ray J's in this film. Yeah.
He is.
Yeah, he's one of the kids. One of the other person we got with Pam Grier's kids.
Yeah,
Pam Grier's in this movie too.
But that was right. Which one?
The
Ray J,
the older brother.
Yeah,
okay.
I didn't notice him with obviously I noticed him more with like Kim Kardashian, but for some reason he looked a little bit different. So I guess he had his clothes on. So
that was the difference. Yeah.
Oh
yeah. The other little boy, he actually I don't know if you guys ever saw Soul Food, but he was a big role in that. So when I immediately saw him, I immediately thought about that movie, and he kind of had like a little bit of an established child career. Gosh. It was so great. I don't even remember his name. I got to look it up real quick. But,
it left that much of an impression on you.
Yeah. Brandon Hammond is his name. But yeah, he was in a lot of he always kind of played like a different narration of child. The Preacher's Wife is a movie I remembered him in.
Oh, yeah.
With Courtney Vance and, Denzel and Whitney Houston. So
Whitney,
he's been around.
For some reason, it starts out with an Asian family, like on a farm, and they smell something burning. They're like, the neighbor's like, is that barbecue? Are you barbecuing? And he's like, no. And then all of a sudden you see these cows stampeding down the road, all of them on fire with really bad CGI fire effects.
It was horrible.
It was horrible. And then you see a saucer fly off in the distance away from it. So I'm not sure why they did that, but
I love that the first line in the movie is this farmer questioning this Asian guy who's taking out the garbage.
Yeah.
And then he goes, is it the Filipino New Year? Are you guys barbecue back then? I was like, oh my God, just get it.
Which he knows Filipinos, because that is true. That's for sure. They'll be barbecuing.
This is why I brought it up, man. My wife is Filipino, and yes, I was like, right away, I got dancing visions of lechon in my head.